Welcome. This is Kejik.
This is ThunderDome.
This is Darkness. And welcome to the Wolf Pit. Spoiler alert. This is a Batman vs. Superman movie review. First off,
That movie was fucking awesome.
that movie was amazing. The audio in our movie theater was phenomenal. It was so loud. Like, you could hear everything.
Like,
that
that
was
is probably
going
one
on.
of the loudest movies I've ever been to in my life.
Oh, yeah. Bar none.
Had so much action. I bet you the hour and a half of it was.
It was 2.5 hours.
Well, I'm
of
saying,
pure
like,
fucking awesomeness.
An hour and a half of it was pure explosions.
And well, the other
Yeah.
the other hour is like them talking. Blah, blah, blah.
It's like dialogue meets explosions, and then they got dialogue explosions.
Dialogue during explosions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they were doing a lot of that.
Save
Yeah.
the girl. Ooh!
Now, beginning of the movie. What do you guys think of the title?
It was crap. I mean, it was just like this little thing that's like right there at the bottom left, right-hand corner.
I feel like
The
they
Batman versus
Just like
Superman.
New
Dawn of
Times,
Justice.
New Times Roman. Just like,
Boom.
it's Batman versus Superman.
Well, you gotta think
Dawn of
about
Justice.
it.
Dawn of
so,
Justice.
Like
Who gives a fuck? Just roll the movie.
well, they had the whole thing like mapped out for months. That the whole like the posters and all that great.
They
shit.
all had like the awesome logo. Like you were thinking, like, oh, it's gonna fade to black like normal movies, and then, boom, logo. But
Nope, not a fucking thing. No, just
Well,
Batman versus Superman.
just
Dawn
text.
of Justice.
You already get you. Well, I would assume that the viewer of the movie would already have been acknowledged that there's going to be a big old symbol.
Yeah, but I mean, you could.
I didn't
like,
even notice that. I kind of like already was hooked in the movie because I was like, oh well, I didn't see a logo. They just started the movie instead of having, you know.
yeah, you were thinking.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even with most movies nowadays, I mean, you could see, like, 50,000 trailers for it, and they would still have this, like, big-ass fucking logo at the beginning of the, like, it would show a little bit of the movie,
Yeah.
and then, boom, fucking,
Like, all you seen was, like, the DC logo pop up, like in every DC film. And then it went straight into
The movie.
Like, movie.
and it
And it opens up at, it's a funeral for Martha and
Thomas.
Wayne. And then they go back and do the Batman origin story of, like,
It showed the point view of what Bruce Wayne was doing at the
Yeah,
time
they,
of
they-
Man and
they
Steel,
got
the final
him-
fight.
They got him onto Metropolis. He got from a boat into, like, this
It
little...
was a helicopter.
I thought it was a boat.
No, it was he came out from a helicopter. He came out of a helicopter, got into a car, and immediately started.
A little tiny, like, minivan looking thing.
No, it was an SUV looking thing with.
It was a tiny...
It looked like.
It's one of the, like, little European fuckers. A little, like...
Yeah, and it had like those flashing lights that you would have like on an emergency vehicle, but
Yeah.
it was just like yellow. It wasn't.
I was like,
What
just
country
caution, like,
were they in though to have that type of vehicle?
probably Europe or something.
Because like in
it
our,
was mostly filmed in like Vancouver.
I was gonna say it's like they didn't
I
have
think
that.
it was mostly filmed in Michigan and.
It was up in
Like
up in
Arizona
Vancouver.
or Oklahoma.
They shot some in Vancouver.
Oh, did it? Oh.
Yeah. Bat Jesus. Let's talk about Bat Jesus.
Bad.
If you guys do not know, Bat Jesus, they show it in the movie where literally
Little Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne falls down the hole. Everybody knows the story. Bruce Wayne falls down the hole. He sees all these bats, and they pan up, and there's millions and millions of bats, and they all fly towards him. You've seen it in The Dark Knight, they did it, but this is different. Like, the bats spun around him, and they lifted him like he was fucking Jesus himself.
But
then-
like,
just-
okay, and it showed like several different views. Like none of the bats were actually touching him; they were just flying around him. And
They
it
created
like, some
a
kind of
hover vortex. A
And
hover vortex that floated him up in the air, and he had his arms out like he was just a bat. And, like, they showed his face. He was just like, I'm not even afraid. I don't
Well,
care.
the sad
Just-
thing was is when he
man.
said that he woke up
Yeah,
and his family were still dead.
yeah. And they showed actually pretty
That's
good.
it.
They showed the beginning of how Martha and Thomas Wayne
Then
died.
again, he died.
But they
really
shot
quickly,
him
though.
differently. They didn't actually go down Crime Alley. They just did it right in front of the movie, or the theater.
Yeah, they shot him.
Well,
And they shot Thomas Wayne. He tried to fight him, and he didn't work. And
well,
then,
in the New 52, which is what these movies are based off of, it's how it happened. They
Yeah,
didn't wait to go down the alley, just like right outside the theater.
yeah, they did it too.
yeah, I just need to.
It
still
was pretty
watch
good
that
though. They got
reboot.
the angles good and everything looked,
Oh yeah,
everything
definitely.
looked nice. You could even see the death in Martha's eyes. You seen him turn to black.
Yeah, they faded. They
It was amazing.
It was epic, to say the least.
Okay, first off,
Okay.
there's a scene that I want to talk about real quick, and it's the one where he went to his mom's, like,
Grave.
corpse, and then it started leaking, and then the fucking Batman blew out of it. Like,
There was
The Bat Demon, yeah.
he came into what he's talking about. He came to Martha and Thomas's cathedral grave, mausoleum grave. Thank you. And yeah, he goes up and he's looking at his dad's grave. He puts
Mom's grave.
No, he looked at his dad's grave first. Nothing was going on. Then he put the flowers in the vase, and then he looked at Martha's grave. And while he was looking at it, like the little corner was oozing blood, so he decided to stick his finger on it and look at it, and the blood, sticky blood. And then boom!
Bat Demon pops out of it.
The freaking Bat Demon with all these bats and just like raw.
Fucking eat him.
And then he wakes up from that to what happens? Fucking Cyborg.
No, that happened later in the movie.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that happened right after like that desert scene thing.
After he snapped all those people's necks, and then he had that like whole moment of time where Cyborg's like, "Oh, he fucked up something. He's one."
It's not my time yet. It's not my time. And he kind of looked like Iron Man. I'm not gonna lie. He had like the little helmet go down.
I got confused on who the fuck he was. I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I forgot Cyborg is a part of the DC universe because God knows.
And you're thinking, "Oh, this is a really shitty looking Iron Man guy." And you're like, "Oh, what the fuck's Iron Man doing?"
It's like Iron Man's sidekick.
He's like Iron Man's just like saying, I'm coming from the Marvel. This DC Marvel universe. Ah! Nope, it's just
these movies suck.
It's just Cyborg. It's not your time. It's not your time. Blah 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 blah. And everything.
Okay, opinions on Ben Affleck as Batman.
Good, surprisingly.
I was not disappointed at all.
Surprisingly, really, really good. He was very violent, very intense.
I was gonna say
very aggravated. Like he was. They showed it to where it's Batman in the future. He's so tired. He's faced the Joker, Penguin, Two-Face, all these guys. He beat the shit out of him. He's so fucking tired of everybody's shit. And he just doesn't care anymore. He's just going to kick ass.
Did you notice like several points in the beginning where he's sitting there talking to Alfred at first? Is like he just kept shooting that look like, I'm really getting tired of your shit, Alfred.
Like Alfred just was like talking to him like he being a smartass like he used to be in the show, and he's like Batman's just like, dude, I'm about to throat punch you. Just shut the hell up.
There's a joke.
I'm getting really tired of your shit.
Alfred said to Batman, which I thought was funny. It's like, Master Wayne, you should watch your tone about my sandwich making skills. And Batman's like, oh yeah, what are you gonna do about it? You're a waiter or you're a butler. And he's like, well, the last people complained about my sandwich. It happened to be your parents.
No.
He's like, oh,
no,
dark joke.
I seen that joke. It was like, Batman's complaining about the cooking, and I was like, sir, you really shouldn't complain about my cooking. Why? What are you gonna do? It's like, want to know what happened to the last people who complained about my cooking? Batman's like, what? I hired a hitman to kill him.
Had him down the wrong alley.
Like dark. They're like, oh, what? Like,
what the fuck?
Like that's not something you tell us the kid's parents. Or like some boys about his parents. Like what?
That was many years later, so technically the hatred for him wouldn't be so
It's kind of it's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Me and Alfred have been together. Fuck it. Henry Cavill came back as Superman.
Amy Adams
was still Lois Lane.
Lawrence Fishburne was still Perry White. Which, surprisingly, he's actually doing pretty good as Perry White.
He actually is awesome as Perry White. He just seems like he
doesn't give a fuck.
He's just like,
some bitch, you're gonna fucking do your job the way I fucking told you.
You know what, Clark Kent? Where the fuck do you go every day? Like, he's getting close to, like, okay, you're Superman. We're getting tired of your shit.
Click.
Like, dude, you just keep disappearing.
Out of fucking nowhere.
And we keep telling you to do jobs, and you just don't fucking do them. And then when we tell you to do a certain job, you go and talk about something completely different. Motherfucker, we told you.
We told you to fucking do sports, not cover goddamn Batman. Fuck the Batman.
We got dudes on the Batman. Oh,
spoiler alert, Batman dies. Just kidding.
Speaking of epic parts of the movie, beginning of the movie, they had the guy who happened to later be in a wheelchair because
his legs
during the Zod Superman fight, the building for Wayne Financials fell down,
killed top of some dude,
killed a bunch of people, and a beam fell down on the guy's legs and cut his leg at the knee, and they had to amputate him. Well, later on, he becomes a key part of the movie because a little bit. Well, yeah, he ends up going on trial against
getting a pawn
Superman because of all the shit he keeps on doing.
Maybe becomes a pawn of Lex Luthor.
Yeah, he becomes Lex Luthor like brainwashes him to try to.
Not really brainwashes. Like the guy has already got hatred for Superman.
Yeah, because
then
because of the spray painting on the statue, which we will come back to.
And just Lex Luthor just feeds that hate. It's like, here, I'm going to give you this.
Lex Luthor. Oh, okay. This speaking about Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor. Amazing, crazy, fucking lunatic.
I love this side of Lex Luthor. I love the job that Jesse Eisenberg did as Lex Luthor.
He was so nut. He was just fucking he was tweaking.
Okay, did you notice at the beginning of his speech when he got up there for his humanitarian award, he went from like completely fucking calm, and then they went
to like
Steen where Batman went down and hacked the system or whatever.
Because he was like tweaking.
And then he gets back upstairs and he's just like fucking arguing with himself, and he's like, "Fuck it, nope, fuck it, nope."
It's like he's got. It's like he's got. He's bipolar,
like
or some shit.
Or just like he has problems public speaking, and he's like a perfectionist, and he's like, stop doing that, stop doing that, stop doing that.
And he still does it because he fucking is Lex Luthor.
And he's Lex Luthor. He's a perfectionist. He has to be right. He has to be perfect. He has to be the man.
The man with a plan.
Yep.
And
Now,
again, Doomsday. Like, that was a different take that I would assume.
okay.
I thought he
hold
was
on. Before we even say, Doomsday is created because of General Zod's body died. Lex Luthor takes a hold of him. Lex Luthor also gains access to the ship that Zod brought down to Earth, and they go in
Actually,
there.
that was the ship that was already on Earth that
was summoned, or
Clark had found.
Well, it's a Kryptonian ship, and they get on there. Lex Luthor gets on there. He brings Zod's body in there.
And
he takes control because he takes the
fingerprints off.
The fingerprints off of Zod by taking a Krypton, like a little
scalpel,
like a little piece, and he just cuts off the fingertips.
Which is surprising me. I mean, I know they're humanoid, but I'm surprised they actually have fingernails at all. It's like, what the fuck?
They gotta like identify somehow.
Well, their fingerprints were the same.
They're human. They're still human.
All they did, whatever, is took the kryptonite.
Well, yeah, no, I understand what they did to get the fingerprints, but I'm just saying, like, okay, I understand that they're humanoid, but why? I mean, they're a different race than us. Why do they have fingerprints?
Well, because
everything.
Maybe that's how they were as a civilization. They still had ways to identify people.
Well,
they had a government and stuff before it was all destroyed.
Well, I was gonna say, you also got to think about before Krypton blew up. They were human. They didn't have superpowers.
The only reason why they didn't have superpowers is because
the Red Sun
the Red Sun
was yellow in this world.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's in the DC universe. Any person who grows up on a planet that is orbiting a red sun, if they go to a system with a yellow sun, they will gain all the powers of Superman.
Yeah. Which is basically he's just absorbing the radiation from our sun to cause molecules in his body to be increased with the strength and the super speed and flight. Even though it took him fucking, let's see, Smallville, 10 seasons, he didn't fly until the very last fucking...
Actually, no, he flew in season 4, but he wasn't Clark Kent.
Anyways, let's get back to Doomsday, how that was all created. We'll go back to that. I know, I'm sorry to interrupt you. But Doomsday was created because Zod went to the Kryptonian ship, was taken by Lex Luthor. He was dead. He took him and dropped him into this yellow goo.
It looked like just piss.
It looked like this hot mess.
Okay.
And Lex Luthor took a blade and cut his hand, and they combined Lex Luthor's blood and Zod's body, and they created Doomsday. Now, Doomsday at the beginning was just a big old blobby dude.
No spikes, no bones, nothing.
Well, every time that he dies, he comes back more powerful because that nuclear blast that the fucking idiots in the U.S. thought that would destroy him, would create...
Doomsday and Superman were fighting. Superman takes Doomsday up into space. They were like, okay, they're out of harm's way. They shoot a nuke at him. It pretty much, it looks like it almost killed Superman, but it didn't. He healed up, like Wolverine style. And
the sun helped out because luckily he was amongst clouds and
right. But he like instantly grew like youthful, like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like badass.
He
Hugh Jackman.
was sleeping in that fucking scene. He was asleep and he got his beauty sleep he needed. And he woke up and his red eyes fucking like, shit, I'm late for something, and then fucking dipped down to go save.
Okay, these motherfuckers pissed me off. I'm gonna go take care of some business.
And then Doomsday, because of the nuclear attack, gained the nuclear power, which also
gave him laser face.
He grew the laser face, and he grew some spikes, little bit of spikes.
The whole as soon as you shoot the mouth, whatever, his mouth and his eyes would shoot, which is pretty fucking awesome. Because Superman
got the little tiny laser eye beams.
But his is like a giant ass fucking
like they come out of both his eyes and his mouth.
So it's just like a complete.
So he's just like this badass nuclear bomb weapon dude.
He can destroy you by your fists.
And
or by the
now later on in the movie, they actually have the Batman versus Superman fight, where Batman came prepared with 2 grenades that. Three grenades that came filled with Kryptonian gas,
crypto gas,
which he used against Superman. Superman showed up against Batman. Batman was in the armor suit, the Iron Man suit, and he got attacked by fire. He blew those up. He took a sewer grate and spat.
That wasn't fire. That was like
it was a sonic
ultrasound.
Well,
Sonic.
the bat Sonic. And he took the sewer grate up, ripped it apart, threw them, smashed them. Then the turret shot at him. He just kind of walked through that. He hit with lasers, and they exploded in fire everywhere. And then it was Batman shot the first grenade at Clark Kent, Superman. Awesome. Sorry about that. We had to cut the video, and
Our host.
One of our guys, ThunderDome, had to leave. He had to exit because he wasn't feeling well, and he was getting a headache. Anyways, as we were saying before, with the Batman-Superman fight, we're going to let him talk about it.
Okay. Batman, it first starts off as Batman fighting Superman because Lex Luthor's being a dick and wants them to fight because he gets off on that kind of shit or something.
And he tries to kill Lois Lane by pushing her off the top of LexCorp.
No, he pushed her off to get Superman's attention.
Yeah, and then he had Superman all pissed off and came up and started talking to Lex Luthor and said, well, I got your mama, and we're going to kill her by fire.
Unless you bring these Batman.
And you had like an hour, and he started this stupid little timer.
Like little itty-bitty kitchen timer.
And he said, well, since we've been talking, you had an hour, now you have less. And so Superman goes and tries to...
He originally goes over there to try and talk to Superman. He's like, hey, I need your fucking help.
Superman tries to talk to Batman, but
Batman was like, fuck you.
Batman was so pissed. He's like, I don't give a fuck. We're going to fight. I don't care what you have to say. And then they were going and...
fuck. Yeah, Batman activates those damn super ultrasonic
bat waves. Superman throws it off by just picking up a sewer grate, splitting it in half, tossing them, destroying them.
Then Batman activates a couple of turrets. Those gets destroyed with Superman's laser face, and then Superman goes and
just fucking boom, force punches Batman back like a bitch. And so Superman.
And then they fly up to the top of that building, and Superman just kind of throws Batman like a little fucking bitch.
Like a ragdoll, just throws him like he's nothing, like a feather. And then Batman comes up with the grenades, tosses a grenade at Superman.
It's a regular old smoke grenade.
And then so he can disappear like he does. And Superman like rushes in real fast to try to find him, and you can't find him. And Batman's behind him with the freaking grenade launcher full of the Kryptonian gas, shoots it at Superman. Superman gets obviously hit by it, affected. And so Batman just starts beating the shit out of Superman, just whipping his ass. And then the effects wore off of the gas, so he has to throw another one. And as he's doing so, he starts hitting Superman in the face. Well, every time he hits him, at first he's going boom, boom, and then like harder and harder and harder, and then Superman just like, all right, fuck this, just goes and takes him and beats the shit out of him. And they're fighting. It breaks off like half of Batman's face, his armor face.
Yeah, his armor piece.
And then he's like, Batman has Superman down. He goes and grabs the spear that he made of the big Krypton spear so he can finally kill Superman, but as he's standing on top of Superman with his foot on his throat, he says, "No, I have to save Martha."
You're letting them kill Martha.
And he's like, "Why are you saying that name? Why are you saying that name?"
Fucking Lois Lane shows up. It's his mother, you dumb bitch!
And then Batman just kind of lets him go. He's like, "We have to save your mom." Because Batman's a good guy. He shows his good guy side. He's like,
Martha's gonna die tonight.
No, Martha's gonna die. And he has to save his mom. And so Batman gets on his little jet. The big bat copter flies, goes and
Goes to somewhere
goes and finds out where she's at. Goes
with help from Alfred, which played by Jeremy Irons, which is fucking awesome as Alfred.
He was a good Alfred. He was just the no shit.
I'm not gonna take any of your shit.
He's like, I've been doing this enough time. I know what I gotta do. Just leave me alone. Let me do what I gotta do and all that. And anyways, we'll go back to what's going on. Batman goes to where the building's at, where she's at, and he says, "What floor are they on?" They're on the 3rd floor. So he said, "Go take me to this." He's like, "I'm putting an autopilot." Alfred's controlling it because Alfred's awesome like that. And Batman just jumps in, starts beating the crap out of all these guys. He finds Martha, and she's trapped in this room, tied to a chair with the guy with the flamethrower, who is part of the Russian gang that's at the beginning of the movie. That one of the bad guys, but Batman ends up like killing all of them and saves Martha.
He's not really killing. He just
he throws the batarang at the gas tank where the flamethrower's at. The flamethrower explodes, and Batman like jumps on Martha, saves her, and he brings her back to where she needs to go. And now they decide, well, now we gotta defeat this. We gotta go find Lex Luthor and defeat him. And that's when
fucking Doomsday shows up.
Superman goes into the
Kryptonian ship
where Lex Luthor is, and they see Doomsday, the beginning of Doomsday, with no spikes, none of that like in the comic books. It's just plain old Doomsday, just how he started out, and they have a fight.
Really strong, really pissed, and it looks like his first punch was aimed for Lex Luthor.
Yeah, and
Superman, it's like, yeah, nope, fuck you.
Superman just stopped the whole punch, and you could see Lex Luthor like, what? Like, you're attacking me?
I created you, motherfucker.
And, well, Doomsday don't give a shit. But they fight, and they bring out, it's Superman and Doomsday fighting, and they just keep fighting, and they end up in, like, Superman grabs Doomsday and starts bringing him up into space, and the U.S. government sees that, and they're like, oh, okay, well, these two are out of like range where we all could get hurt, so let's nuke them. And he hits them with the nuke, and Superman's stuck in space, like he got knocked out, and he looks like he's really dying, but he's not dying. And Doomsday ends up smashed into Stryker Island, and gains the ability of the nuke that he gets because he was defeated, but he took the nuke power, and beams came out of his eyes and his mouth, and he gained these spikes, the
bone spikes.
Some of the bone spikes, not all of them.
Yeah, no.
But Superman is up in space, and he looks real dead, and then he like does the Wolverine regeneration, like
becomes all young and sexy again.
Goes back to Henry Cavill sexiness, and he comes back down, sees Doomsday. And they fight, and Batman shows up, and Wonder Woman, who was awesome when she showed up on screen, she was amazing. Gal Gadot was awesome.
She was sexy as Wonder Woman.
She was very sexy, and she was like no give a shit attitude. She just didn't care, and she was taking out Doomsday. She was taking him with the sword and shield, taking every blast that he was given to her. And Superman was beating up on him, and Wonder Woman finally cuts off Doomsday's hand, and Batman shoots him with the grenades, stunning him, and then Superman takes the spear,
stabs him,
the Kryptonian spear, and shoves it through him. Well, as a result, as he's shoving it through him, Doomsday grows the spike and stabs Superman straight through the chest and kills Superman, and
kills.
As the Kryptonian spear was going through Doomsday. It ended up killing Doomsday and destroying him. And later on, you see the burial of not one but two Superman funerals. They have the one where it's Clark Kent at his home back in in Kansas, in Smallville. And then they have the Superman one with the military. And after that, go ahead. You keep talking.
Yeah, like when they're in Smallville, where Clark's actual body is, I'm assuming.
Bruce Wayne is there, and Gal Gadot are both.
Diane Prince.
Yeah.
They show up and they're talking about finding the others, which I like how they actually did show, like, the actual Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg. Like,
they showed Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman. They showed Aquaman in some kind of ship that looked like the Titanic. And it looked like they were going to attack Aquaman. Aquaman comes out with a spear, stabs the camera, and, like, zooms through the water.
The Flash is in a gas station looks like he's
getting some freaking milk, like a boss.
And then the gas station's getting robbed. And
all you see is the Flash, boom, attack him, go back to his milk like nothing's happening, the lights go out and all that. Cyborg.
Shows him getting made.
It was really the hard part of Cyborg because it was his dad and it was like the beginning of Cyborg. Stone. It was just real, like, hard.
It's kind of sad.
And they showed, like, the black orb, how the black orb goes in, or the black cube goes in and, like, creates Cyborg, and it sounded really painful. And it was really loud, and, like, you felt bad. But you know that that's how Cyborg had to be made, so it was gonna be rough. But later on, they do the burial.
They're talking about getting all these other people like Diane Prince. Wonder Woman, like, and they're like, okay, what makes you think they're going to fight? Like, well, they're going to have to.
Because there's a lead-in to the new villain that's going to probably be in Justice League.
Yeah, they zoom over, they kind of shoot over to Lex Luthor in jail, bald now.
They shave his head, and he's all bald, and they have him in a cell where they're telling him to turn around, put his head against the wall, and put his arms behind his back, and then the lights flicker, and there's Batman. And Lex Luthor's up against the wall, and he's like, well, the bells have already rung. Your God is dead. There is a new evil coming.
He is coming. He is on his way.
And
we think it's
you're wondering
calling to Doom or
Darkseid. Because of the creatures at the beginning of the movie in the nightmare scene with Batman where he's in the desert and the Superman army and all that. And then they had the demons that kind of look like Darkseid. So we're crossing our fingers, hoping it's Darkseid for the Justice League movie. Maybe they'll show later on during the Flash and the Cyborg movie, the Wonder Woman movie. Maybe they'll show more detail and like.
Well, the Wonder Woman movie is supposed to be like an origin story for her. It's not going to be.
Well, they might show a little. They might show a little bit of like, okay, this is who's the villains. Poke fun at him or whatever.
What I think would be cool is if, like, it shows Wonder Woman throughout the events of Batman vs Superman. It's like, like her point of view throughout the whole movie, and then like just at certain points just flash back to her
as an Amazonian, and then the cowgirl and all the other stuff. Just her throughout the 100 years, which would be awesome. But we're hoping for Darkseid. Not confirming, not denying, because we don't know. We're just hoping, praying that it is Darkseid. But, they showed Lex Luthor. Batman had the brand out that he was having throughout the movie, and he would punch the wall behind Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor goes crazy. He's up against the bars, acting like the freaking Joker for some reason. But like we said before, the insanity of Lex Luthor was awesome.
Yeah. And
they go flashback to the gravesite where Gal Gadot and Batman were still talking, Bruce Wayne was still talking, and you go and see the dirt that Lois Lane throws on top of his casket, the tossing of the dirt, and you see the dirt on the casket slowly rising up, and you're like, oh, and then the movie ends, and you're like, oh, okay, so Superman might not be dead.
Yeah, no, one thing about the monument they built for Superman in D.C. is they had that thing where if you want to see Superman's monument, look around.
Yeah, they had a monument, just the big S of the Superman mark back in Metropolis, because they destroyed the the other statue that they had of Superman where he's like, but they created a new one, but it did say if you're looking for a hero and a monument, just look around because it's everywhere. It's a hero is just something that you need to believe in. You don't need to believe in a Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman. You personally, you could be a hero, and I like that. That it's like that's a powerful message. Like you don't need a monument to just believe in
Remind
something.
you of a hero.
Just believe in it. Like that's all you need. Just believe that you can do good things, and good things will happen back to you. But altogether,
it was a pretty good movie.
I'm gonna say probably like out of 10, I probably have to go about 8.5.
Yeah.
Because some of it was a little dry, some of it was a little
boring
at times. But it was a really good movie. I'd go watch it again. And
oh yeah, I'm gonna have to go see it because I have to take Brennan to go see it.
Kenny has to take his son to go see it because he's a big Superman fan.
No, he's just a big superhero fan. He doesn't care.
And
Batman.
I might go see it again just because.
You can go with us.
Just because I thought it was good.
And plus, you also have to take.
But
Stacey.
yes, I recommend it to other people.
Highly.
And yeah, that's our review. I know we talked a lot about like a bunch of random stuff and we're bouncing around a lot, but this is our first video. We're kind of nervous. We're trying it out to see how well we do. And if you would like to hit the like button at the bottom, you don't have to if you don't want to, but we'd sure like it if you would. Comment below anything. Just try to keep it positive. Don't be an asshole and saying like, oh, the dude, the AC/DC shirt looks like fag, or the dude over there just like looks like a fat blob piece of shit. No offense, dude. Loving you, brother.
Haters gonna hate.
But yeah, just try to keep it positive. Any comments, good comments.
We'll take constructive criticism.
If you want to, subscribe. If you don't,
share this with your friends.
If you don't, it's okay, because we're just gonna keep on trying until we get there. But this has been Darkness,
Kejik,
and sadly no ThunderDome because he had to leave. He might not be in the next video. We're gonna see if he can or not. But we'll see all you guys in the next video. Peace.